and a lot of this is with I'm going to put on Alan hats, because Alan, I showed with Alan with him, or we worked together at Waterloo starting in the later 50s, 57, 8, 9, on into the 60s. And so we at those days slept in front of the cattle, so we were our hotel and we were there. So, and you people that didn't know Alan knew well enough that he would talk a lot in that. And Alan was, though, the main part here is that Alan Hatch was a representative of all the breeds invited the last day of their board meeting out there. Now, I don't know if he was elected or selected or what, but he was asked by them to appear. So already in the later 50s, when I worked with Alan would come back and we'd discuss it a little bit, how it was going. But when we started to get into the 60s, he came back with some worries on his mind. And then he came back one day and he said, Ray, he said the Waterloo is going to the end. And, attendance is dropping due to what Ardale said, we're going to try to put these together to cut the words down. And he was the only one that had that inside. And the other good thing, I'm going to go off just a little bit. Alan, I don't know how, but he had some way with almost everybody in every breed. He had a certain person that he respected and they respected him. Am I right, Ardale?
That's right.
And so he would, we'd get up and get going in the morning and get a bunch of stuff done, and then maybe by 11 o'clock he might go and visit with somebody on this breed. Then he'd come back and he'd eat, and then he'd go in the afternoon. So he had a good rapport with all the breeds out there. Tell me, stop me if I'm wrong in any way. But the main thing is, go ahead, right?
Don't forget how he talked to you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He made your breastbone sore.
That's right. That's right. And I know they don't want to hear all this, but the fact is, as far as I'm concerned, Alan was the driving one here. And then here's the thing written. I didn't write this. This was written by what you call him from out east, Alan Hetz's dream. Alan Hetz came back in 1963, and that's where you may be referring to. So I'm jumping ahead a little here. In 63, and he said, we had 20 head of cattle there, and no help, except Alan and myself. And he came back about 3:30 in the afternoon, and he said, Ray, you just get on, get them fed, and get them milked. We're having a meeting tonight at the Kit Kat Club, and I'll go and talk to the people. Well, the first person he went to talk to was Gene Nelson. Gene and Alan were tight on any of these things when it was. They were tight and believed in each other, and their abilities and their things kind of worked together real good. Then he went to Howard Vagley. Howard Vagley was part of that meeting. He came. Now Ray Brubacher was invited, and Alan tried to get him, but he had something else that night, so he didn't come. He was not part of that meeting that night that we went up to the Kit Kat Club to eat. And the
was
Kit
Nels
Kat Club.
Raider, was Nels Raider involved?
No,
anyway.
no. You're going to have number there that you other people can throw in. I'm talking about the very first. Now, I'm trying to say about 2-3 things to cut it down at once, but Alan was also trying to keep this quiet because he had been in a board meeting, and in 63, as far as Waterloo going and out of business, that wasn't true. So you're going to come back and say, hey, we got to do this, we got to keep this quiet. So we asked for a spot in the corner, or Alan did. He was in charge. I was along only because he went and talked to him. I got the cows milked and the feeding done, and we went up. And that, just to identify, people always laugh about when we talk about the Kit Kat Club. They think, what kind of a place was that? Well, it was a place right behind
top of the hill.
On top of the hill. We could walk to, it was an excellent place to eat, and they would let us all in at Waterloo without we could get in. That state was
dry.
So I'm trying to cut this down as short as I
That's
can
fine. You're
to
doing
get
good.
that. And so that's the group that started it that night that we're talking about there. And the wish and the unfortunate thing of that group and what we talked about and what kind of followed there, I'm sorry to say I'm the only one alive today. And probably I'm the one should be dead. I wish one of them were here. And that's why I compliment you people getting this started, though, because we've lost important people that have died even in recent years. Now, Doc Ellenstein, you can talk about. I'm sure that Alan Hitz didn't go home, and not too long he was talking to Doc Ellenstein, and we're going to get him in here from what accent?
Art?
Art.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Art was one of the early ones that came along too, and I don't know exactly. The other thing I want to just say before we go into that both Gene Nelson and Alan Hitz were good people at picking the people they picked on their team, including you, Ardell. They twisted your arm many times, I'm sure. Am I wrong or right?
No, that's right.
And so they had the people that had the right contacts, but they were great business people or like committee people or they picked people that were there. In other words, they kind of broke it off into committees. You didn't have this group have to decide it all. Now it came back there. I wish I had all those hours, then those miles I had to drive down to Mr. Hetz. Where I was driveway to come, and Alan was the kind of person when he called you and wanted you to come the next day, no matter what you had, the haymaker, what, you had to come. And so you had, for instance, Howie Bigley was the fun in there. What was Howie really good in this here? He was good at entertainment. I'm jumping ahead for Expo, that we have the band and we have some beer.
Roby Snyder.
That's right. That's right. And also Crowley.
Yep.
He had the contact there. He had people like that that reached out. So we had this family going right away. And Doc, I don't know who contacted you on it, but they would assign us to work on different people, the salespeople, whatever. So I'm sorry, I'm going on too long. I'll quit at this time.
This is the kind of background and color we're after.
And I think you just used the word color. We do need color in this book. This is not going to be a sanitized history book. If you hear it, you talk about the Kit Kat Club and some of those. Tell us those stories. People want to hear stories. They don't want to hear facts and timelines.
You didn't go to that kind of place, did you?
Does anybody remember something called Parlor F?
Tell a story out of you.
Parlor F?
No, I don't know anything about Parlor F.
Okay.
Then Crowley,
that's more of a word thing, I think.
Jim Crowley went to Dean of the College of Ag, Dean Pound.
Mm-hmm.
And Dean Pound sent the word down after they had met to those of us in dairy science, you will be involved. Period. And nobody was to question spending the time with World Dairy Expo or the World Food and Agricultural Exposition as it was.
Well,